Been following the news, you'll know that less than a fortnight ago, US Senator Ted Cruz introduced a bill aimed at sanctioning the Nigerian government for allegedly supporting terrorism, which he said was aimed at eliminating this country's Christian population. Senator Cruz, who's a member of President Trump's Republican Party, claimed that extremist groups have been hunting down and killing Christians for decades in an attempt to rid the country of them. He accused the Nigerian government of facilitating this so-called anti-Christian crusade. Other top American politicians and political commentators have also expressed similar views, and they're calling on the Trump administration to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern and to suspend arms sales and technical support to the government. The Nigerian government has, of course, denied this, and independent researchers and analysts are adamant that the claims of a Christian genocide are false. So, how has it come to this? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the Republican mayor of the U.S. city of Blanco in Texas, Mike Arnold, the political commentator, author, and social media influencer, Reno Omokri, and from our offsite studio, the prominent Texan Republican and filmmaker Jeff Gibbs. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for coming in. And let me start with you, Reno Omokri, because you're the one who brought these two very prominent gentlemen to Nigeria and into our studios. Tell us why.
Well, when Senator Ted Cruz began this tale about a Christian genocide, and Gregory Abbott, the governor of Texas, followed along with Congressman Moore, I felt it was my patriotic duty to reach out to the Republican Party and officials who have a desire to know the truth. And so I was able to get Mayor Mike Arnold, a Republican elected mayor from the state of Texas, who is personally friends with Senator Ted Cruz and Gregory Abbott, and also an associate with President Trump. And I invited him over to Nigeria for fact-finding. Not just him, I invited also a filmmaker. I wanted them to see for themselves, because Senator Ted Cruz, a lot of people in Nigeria think he doesn't mean well, but I think he means well. But the thing is, he doesn't have the right information. He's never been to Nigeria. And Congressman Moore hasn't been to Nigeria. So I invited these two gentlemen here, and before they came, they briefed Senator Ted Cruz and Congressman Chip Roy, and they're here. Now, they've met with the leaders of the Christian Association of Nigeria. They've just met with the chairman. They've also met with the leaders of the JNI, that's the Jamaatul Nasrul Islam. For those who don't speak Arabic, that's just the Society for the Support of Islam. So they've met with them. They've been to IDP camps. They've seen the situation there. This whole idea of a Christian genocide in Nigeria is ludicrous. Yes, there are killings of Christians in Nigeria, and anybody who denies that will be, frankly, a dishonest person. But then, there are also killings going on in the Muslim arena. I mean, I hate to say this, but only recently we had killings at a mosque in Katsina. We had killings at another mosque in Zamfara. And if you have these terrorists go to a state like Benue and they hit people there, obviously, most of the victims will be Christians. Why? Because Benue is a Christian-dominated state. If they hit in Zamfara, most of the victims will be Muslims. So there's no Christian genocide, and to prove it, I've invited these gentlemen for fact-finding.
Right, okay, well, thank you very much indeed. And thank you, Mayor Mike Arnold, for joining us. Let me start with you. I mean, how long have you been in Nigeria now?
This is my 16th time to be in Nigeria since 2010. I've been all over the country.
But on this particular trip?
I just got here.
And this is a fact-finding mission.
Yes.
What scope is it going to have?
I am meeting with a number of leaders and asking tough questions to start.
Right. But, I mean, obviously there are places where these alleged genocidal activities are said to be taking place. Are you going to be venturing into
I have been to Jos, I've been to Bokos.
Right.
I've had a team that's been to Gwoza just very recently, and I've been all over the south and central part of the country, and I build schools and run schools in IDP camps. We have 2 schools up and running and a third one under construction. We teach 550 students full-time education and that's here in the FCT.
Right. Okay. Well, welcome to Nigeria. And again, and let me turn to you, Jeff Gibbs. Sorry, you appear to be marooned in our sort of off-site studio there, but we can see you, and you're certainly part of this conversation, and thank you very much indeed for joining us. You are a filmmaker as well as a Republican. Tell us what your role is going to be in this fact-finding mission.
Well, I'm not sure who mentioned to you any political affiliation I may have at home, but I am a filmmaker. I can attest to that.
Okay, so what are you going to be doing on this mission in Nigeria?
Well, it's a very brief mission on this trip. I'm just here in support of the mayor and his fact-finding mission. This is my 6th time in Nigeria in about 4 years or so. I have had time in the camps. I'm not the person to really speak on many of the facts or the details regarding all of the situation and the issues facing Nigeria, but what I can say is that I've spent time in the camps and that I've met and made friends with these children, and these are people from, in one camp we have predominantly Christian students in our school, and in another camp we have predominantly Muslim students, and what I can say unites them. What I can say is that seeing into their eyes, the hope and light that's in their eyes, they shine with love, and as a filmmaker, that's what I've been responding to.
Are you going to be making any films while you're here?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Are you going to be filming what you're sort of doing here?
If I can have time to pull out my phone and it's notable to film, then that is part of my job, yes, sir.
Right, okay, let me come back to you, Reno, because I mean, let's be honest, and we appreciate the fact that you brought them down to sort of try and gather facts and take it back to sort of the United States. But I mean, what the problem appears to be, from one point of view, is that this country has in fact been invaded by a lot of jihadi terror groups. I mean, some of them coming from across the Sahel and all the rest of them who have their own agendas that they're trying to pursue, some of which might include eliminating non-Muslim groups. I mean, but the point, of course, is that that's not official government policy, is it?
Well, it's not even that. These guys, they have an agenda against secularity. You've got to understand that. Their agenda is against secularity. Nigeria is a secular nation, and they are against secularity. And in keeping with that agenda, they will attack Muslim groups and Christian groups who are in support of that secularity of Nigeria. So if you got to go down memory lane. How did this start? This started in 2011 when the Obama administration intervened in Libya. And Gaddafi had a legionnaire army. For those who don't understand, that's a mercenary army, a foreign army. Even in this country, some activists that I don't want to name were trained in Libya. You know, Charles Taylor was trained in Libya, Fode Sanko in Libya. And so when he fell, these individuals, they left Libya and then they came to the Sahel. They had money, they had training, they had skills. And so they came here, and it's not just in Nigeria. People seem to just pick on Nigeria, but throughout the Sahel, they came and they've been causing mayhem. So they led to the toppling of democratic governments from Burkina Faso to Mali and Niger. And they're trying to do the same thing here. So this is a fight against secularity. It's not a Christian genocide, and it's nothing to do with moderate Islam.
So what are you telling them about? I mean, where are you taking them across Nigeria, and what are you telling them to do with what they get? They're going to go back to Texas and sort of take the facts they've gathered back to Ted Cruz?
Senator Ted Cruz was briefed before they embarked on this trip, and the mayor can speak for himself, and not just
Right.
Senator Ted Cruz, other persons. We're having a press conference tomorrow, 4 p.m., right here at the Hilton, and the international community, the world press are going to be there, Reuters, Bloomberg, and a couple of other people are going to be there. I suppose that Arise will also be there. Now, the thing is, they are here on a fact-finding mission, so I cannot put actions into their hands.
Yes, of
or
course.
put words into their mouth. So if they tell me they want to see this, they want to go here, that's the basic idea of a fact-finding mission. Already, they've met with the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, they've met with the Secretary General of JNI, and they're going to meet with more people. So they go where they want to go, and at the end of the day, they're going to take the facts, present them to the policymakers in the United States. And this idea about making Nigeria a country of particular concern must die. Because if you do that, you're enabling the terrorists and you're punishing ordinary Nigerians, Christians and Muslims, the very people that Senator Ted Cruz says he wants to help.
And Mayor Arnold, I mean, in reality, Nigeria's, you say you've obviously been here a number of times. I don't know how much sort of homework or whether your previous visits were in any way related to what you're doing now. But I mean, Nigeria's conflicts are multifaceted. I mean, they're driven by ethnic rivalries, there are land disputes, there's pure criminality, with religion often taking a secondary or tertiary position. Boko Haram, for example, which emerged in Maiduguri in the far north Borno state in 2009, positioned itself against the Nigerian state as an apostate entity, not against any single religious group. And in fact, most of their victims have been Muslims. I don't know whether you're aware of that sort of thing. I mean, and this is coming from people who are non-Muslims.
Well, since 2019, this is my 6th time in Nigeria since then. It's been entirely focused on understanding and telling the story of the internally displaced. And the filmmaker, Mr. Gibbs, is my producer for a film a documentary film that we've been producing now for many years, all through Nigeria, and getting the stories and profiles of these displaced people, which I'm startled that people don't talk about that more. There's estimates anywhere from 4 to 10 million Nigerians who were peaceful, productive people that are now denied and ground down and given no chance to get back. And that's the larger, to me, tragedy, the byproduct of this. I see children, a lot of them, multitudes, millions, literally, of children growing up believing that power comes from violence and that being peaceful is death. And that's a curse on this nation if there's no intervention. Our schools, we have so many testimonials. The kids show up wanting to get guns and go back and kill, and they get an education. They want to go back and rebuild. That's how this is ultimately fixed. When the internally displaced are recognized and restored, it'll be the foundation of a great nation. Until then, I fear for this nation.
Right, and I think a lot of people would share that fear. But I mean, have you been sort of in communication with, because I mean, one of the reasons why, obviously the Nigerian government has a responsibility to its own people, but one of the reasons why they're going through a very difficult time now is the cutting of support from the United States of America, which used to provide for some of those displaced people, and lots of them in the far north and across many other parts of Nigeria. So, I mean, it's put this country in a very difficult situation as a result of the cutting of those funds. I wonder what your thoughts are.
I don't understand why a nation that's as mineral rich and growing as Nigeria has to go and beg from Uncle Sam for help serving their own people. Nigerians have plenty of resources to help these people get back, or at least get something where they can have stability and a life. Now they're denied, they're ground down, they're called criminals, they're called vagrants. Their homes are bulldozed with no warning. It's a horrific life that these people are living. And nobody's here. I mean, why should it be? You don't want America to come here and say anything about terrorism, but you want their money? That doesn't make sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, that makes that's a good point. And let me come to you, Jeff Gibbs, in our off-site studio. I wonder what you make of what's been said so far.
Well, you certainly have two of the more informed and well-studied people on the subject on your dais there this evening. And again, my reiteration would be that across all of the walks of life, across all of the different tribes people, faith backgrounds, what I've seen through the hearts and the eyes of Nigerians is what keeps me coming back. And these schools that we serve for these children, for the IDPs who asked for nothing except to educate their children, to give them hope and a way out, is, for me, in my opinion, I would like to see these camps eradicated. I would like to see them put out of business. We do need to serve these children and these IDPs, but they need to be restored, and that's what I would like to make out of this.
Well, why do you think they're not being served? I mean, why do you think they appear to be ignored?
It's a very good question, and based on the discussions that I've been tangential to, I don't have a good answer for you on that. I would have to defer to Mike.
Well, let me defer to Reno Omokri, who's got an ear to the ground and who is, of course, Nigerian. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think what the mayor said and what you said, I don't think you guys have addressed the issue. You see, there is a moral responsibility on the United States because this problem was brought to Nigeria's doorstep by the actions of the Obama administration. If the Obama administration had not intervened in Libya, if Gaddafi was a nasty piece of work, but he stabilized his country. If Gaddafi had not been killed, and if all those foreign mercenaries hadn't left Libya to come here, Boko Haram started, they were not violent at the beginning. Mohammed Yusuf used to have debates. He had a debate with Issa Pantami. He had a debate. That's what he was doing. He was killed, and then these guys came in and they did a hostile takeover of Boko Haram, and then that was what happened. They had arms. If the United States had not done what they did in Libya, we would not be facing a torrent, not just us, the Sahelian countries. So they just say that, okay, well, we've got minerals and we've got this, and you don't know. No. Listen, you have a moral responsibility. The United States has a moral responsibility because government is a continuum. You know, so we've seen in cases whereby the United States has paid reparation. We're not asking, under Obama, they used a law called the Leahy Law after causing a problem to deny this country weapons. We had to go and purchase weapons on the black market. So Nigeria is paying a price for a problem that we did not cause. So, I mean, I don't want people to just come here and just say, oh, look, our president did say, I think this was about 2 months ago, that, look, I don't need President Trump because I have met my revenue target. We're doing the best that we can as a country. We're fighting corruption. We're growing our economy. Our economy has grown. I mean, we've added $67 billion to our economy in 2 years. In the last quarter, it grew by 4.3%. Our economy is growing faster than our population. But this problem was caused by the actions of the Obama administration. Thank God for a good man like President Trump that lifted the objections of the Leahy Law and began selling weapons to us, like, for example, the Toscano jets. But the United States caused this problem, and they need to help us fix it.
I wonder what your reaction is to that, Mayor Arnold. I mean, the suggestion is that part of the problem in this country was sort of initiated, if you like, certainly enabled by the United States and its policies in Libya.
It was not just policies in Libya, but the policies here. Barack Obama, his Arab Spring foreign policy, I believe he endeavored to do a takeover or facilitate one here in Nigeria. We've got, not prepared to release it yet, but hard proof that Obama was very much behind the advance of Boko Haram, intentionally so. And Obama holds a lot of the blame. There's no doubt about it.
So, I mean, I guess the million-dollar question is, how do we change the narrative in America? Let me come to you, Jeff. You're a filmmaker. That is a powerful way of getting emotively through to the American people.
It is, yes. Filmmaking is an extremely powerful platform. It involves all of the senses, and it's part of my intention and part of our goal is to bring awareness to the situation. It's not my job to agree with certain facts or disagree with others. That's not my place. So this film, it's meant to bring awareness. This is an excellent time for it. The world is, we're just starting now. Mike and I have been at this for years, trying to tell people about it, and it's just breaking now kind of on our shores, and the attention is there for it, and I would like the truth to be heard, and I would like to see hate fought with love.
Okay, and Rena, let me just get you to summarize what has happened today, and the most important thing, I suppose, how do we change the narrative in America?
Well, what has happened today is that these fact finders have come and they've met with the leadership of CAN. They've also met with the leadership of JNI, which is the apex Muslim or rather Islamic body. And for one, they've agreed that there's no Christian genocide. Mayor, am I right?
I'm fact-finding, Reno. I don't know the legal definition of that term, and I think it'd be premature and diminish my credibility.
I think that's a good point.
Okay, but
I think I'd diminish my credibility if I made a declaration before the fact-finding.
I mean, you've literally got to Nigeria, so you need time to sort of do your homework.
I know that there are victims on both sides.
Okay, excellent. So that's the thing. So we've been able to establish that there are victims on both sides and that these individuals are terrorists. And the point of it all is that by the end of their fact-finding mission, when they go back, when they brief the American policymakers, this whole idea of making Nigeria a country of particular concern will be squashed, will be...
So that's the ultimate aim.
That's the ultimate aim, because if that happens, it's precisely ISWAP and the terrorists who are going to benefit, because that's what they've been wanting. They've been wanting to grow anti-American sentiment in this country. And the people they'll be hurting are the people that they want to help, which are the ordinary Christians and Muslims in Nigeria.
Okay. Rena, I want to thank you very much indeed for not only suggesting this topic, but bringing the guests into the studio and bringing them to Nigeria. Rena Omokri is the political commentator, author, and social media influencer. And of course, Mike Arnold, the Republican mayor of the US city of Blanco in Texas. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. And from our off-site studio, the filmmaker who wants to be kept away from being described as a Texan Republican, Jeff Gibbs. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed.